Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here in the European Parliament now. There is a few minutes to go before I speak. At the moment, you will see Mr. Smith, who is, I believe, an SNP candidate from Scotland, saying that all of Scotland wanted to stay in the EU, despite those shouting here that didn't. We'll have Jared Batten after this from UKIP, and then a chap called Wilimski from the other group before I speak. So at this stage, I will just kind of try and listen to Smith speaking.
We have seen nowhere near enough progress on citizens' rights on Ireland or on the financial settlement. On citizens' rights, I'm receiving emails on a daily basis that would break your heart. People who have made choices about their lives, about their residence, on the basis of rights which they face being taken away. Our first duty in this House is to them. On Ireland, North and South, Scotland's close neighbours and friends, solutions are possible. Solutions could be found, but we need to see a lot more seriousness from the UK government than we have seen to date. The Good Friday Agreement is fragile, it must be respected, and we need to see seriousness from the UK administration. And on the financial settlement, it says just how far the UK's reputation has been trashed, that the idea the UK will meet its financial obligations is news. Global Britain's first act is to walk away from international financial contributions. It is just not a serious prospect. And I fear for the future unless we see some real seriousness in these discussions. Scotland wants to find solutions, colleagues. We must see more seriousness from the UK in that endeavour. Thank you.
As you can see from his speech, he was very much supporting the European Union. He was saying that Britain should have to keep hold of paying the money. But here is Jared Mann. Keep paying the money. He is criticising us for wanting to leave. He is saying he wants to give all EU citizens the rights. And apparently David Coburn is now being told off by the President of the Parliament. So I don't know what he's saying. He's saying it in Italian. The President is talking about the President was saying we can't talk about Catalonia. And it's now telling David Coburn off for raising issues that are not relevant to this debate. And he's trying to force a speech in, so it's now causing problems. And he's now cut David. And here's Mr. Batten.
Io sono abituato a rispettare tutti i deputati, però pretendo che anche i deputati rispettino la Presidenza. Se le chiedo e le do la parola per intervenire su un punto all'ordine del giorno, lei non lo fa, vuol dire che sta prendendo in giro la Presidenza e questo non lo posso accettare. La parola all'onorevole Batten.
Thank you very much. Now we're here to discuss the state of play of negotiations and what progress has been made. Well, very little, and there are two main reasons for that. One, of course, is that you don't want us to leave. You're going to do everything you possibly can to make it as difficult as possible, to delay it as long as possible, so that either we end up with a very, very bad deal or we reverse the decision of the referendum. The second reason, of course, is Mrs May, who simply doesn't have a clue. She has neither the courage, the will, nor the resolve to actually see these so-called negotiations through. But Mrs May has made some very serious and dangerous concessions already. What has she actually said? 15 months already after the referendum, nothing much has changed. She intends that we should leave the European Union on the March 2019. We will leave the Commission, we will leave the Council, we will no longer have members of the European Parliament. We've left, but nothing much very changes. Nothing much at all changes. She said that we are going to incorporate all EU law into UK law, and then she wants another 2 years transition period, which will take us up to 5 years from the referendum, during which case nothing much changes on immigration, the laws don't change, and she has made one very, very, very dangerous concession, which is talking about an EU treaty on security and defence. We will continue to be bound to your military ambitions. We will continue to be bound to your security policy and foreign policy, and to all the police and justice, criminal justice measures like the hated European arrest warrant. has not got a clue. And what she'll end up with is a withdrawal agreement whereby we leave in name, but we do not leave in reality. Now, Mr. Barnier, Mr. Juncker, I don't understand why you don't actually make it easy for us to leave. Why don't you kick us out as quick as possible? Because then you can get on with your ambitions for full economic, financial, political and military integration. You can create your United States of Europe, make it easy for us to go so that we can get on with pursuing our freedom and independence, prosperity and our future in the world, not in the EU. Do yourself and us a favour, please.
You see a really good, excellent speech there by Jared Batten, brilliantly done, explaining that why doesn't the EU want to make it easier for us to leave, because then they can pursue their own issues of having a United States country. It's just clear from today that all we can see here is that the EU are trying to delay, damage and deny Brexit, which is exactly what I'll be saying in a few moments. Mr. Vlimsky now from I think Austria is now speaking and saying that Britain should leave the European Union and that in fact that the European Union is making it difficult for us to do so. I've got about 25 seconds to go before I speak, so I'm going to get prepared now and get ready for it, hope, and you'll see what I have to say.
Thank you, Mr. President. Abraham Lincoln famously once said, "You can fool some of the people all of the time. You can fool all of the people some of the time, but you can never fool all of the people all of the time." Well, the British people are no longer fooled that the EU want to negotiate a fair Brexit agreement or even negotiate at all. From Verhofstadt to Juncker, to Barnier and to Tusk, the message is clear. The EU will delay, damage and deny Brexit. When President Tusk says the UK can't have its cake and eat it, what he actually means is the EU wants its cake, our cake, the morning croissant, afternoon tea, and finishing it with taking a pound of Britain's economic flesh washed down with a glass of subsidised EU Chianti. As Shakespeare said, this England never did, nor never shall, lie at the feet of a proud conqueror. It's clear the EU will not change its tune, so it's time for the UK to walk away and end this charade. Thank you.
There's my speech, and you'll see some reactions from it now in the crowd. You'll hear now Helmut Brock, who's a German who's incredibly supportive of creating the new continent. And now he's making a laughable joke that the EU is behind Brexit. Of course they were. Their rules, their regulations, their control of people. But in a moment you're going to hear one of the socialists called Richard Corbett. I'm going to hang on until he's spoken. Richard Corbett is a member of the Labour Party. He is a fervent Europhile. He will do absolutely anything to keep the United Kingdom in the European Union. And you'll hear from their words how in this Parliament you have people who are elected by yourselves actively trying to prevent Brexit from occurring. So we're going to watch that in just a few seconds, and then after that I'll have to go because it's fairly risky when speaking in the Parliament like this when we've got difficulties in doing so. It looks like Helmut Brock is enjoying his moment in the sun and carrying on speaking longer than he should do. But the President has told him not to stand down yet. He is basically saying that the EU should not change its view at all on negotiating. And he wants to win time for a free trade agreement. But how can you have a free trade agreement if they're not allowing us to actually negotiate those free trade agreements at the same time? The logic of these people is not making any sense at the moment. So hopefully, here we go with Rick. No, he keeps going on. Now here is Richard Corbett for the Labour Party.
It's increasingly obvious to all that the negotiations are not proceeding as fast as they should and have no chance or little chance of reaching the stage of being able to...
I'm actually not sure you're hearing any of that.
It's also growing increasingly...
He's saying it's increasingly obvious to everyone that he is blaming the chaos of the negotiations solely on the British government. A minority government having lost its election and platform. In fact, I don't think he's saying very much about it, so I know you can't hear him, so I think on that point I better be careful and actually better bide my leave now. Much of the debate now is going to go into people who are not British and you can't hear it, so I'm going to leave you for now and hopefully catch up with some of your comments online later. Take care, bye.
You didn't frankly have the balls to put country before party.